right. Hey, everybody. It's me again. Don't y'all love me? I know. We are at episode 5. Can you believe it? 5 episodes in of they don't teach you in grad school, the business of therapy. And I am so excited about today. I'm not even going to introduce them. I'm allowed them to introduce themselves. I do have a master's, but I still mess up on that sometimes. But I'm excited, right? I have a Black male therapist here with me, and I have another Black woman here. And we're going to talk about the business of therapy. How did we get here? Did we learn everything we needed to learn in grad school to get to this point in time in our careers? So that's what we're going to talk. And we're also going to have fun because it's Black History Month, and you know we love to cut up here, okay? So I'm going to go to my right and let Miss Claire introduce herself.
So hello, everyone. I am Claire Hayes and residing in Clayton, North Carolina. Y'all wouldn't believe that somebody called me a unicorn because they said nobody is from Clayton anymore. Like, people are coming to Clayton, and it just blows my mind because this little town is popping. People want to be there. Yeah. I have my own private practice, Healing with Hayes PLLC, and it's exciting. It's very exciting to just see, the growth in how we can help people live the lives that they want to live and do it without the things that they didn't teach us in grad school, because there's a lot of learning post-grad, and I can't wait to get into all the things. Yes. All the things.
Yes. So welcome, Claire.
Thank you.
I'm actually in Clayton as well, so small things.
Okay, next. Okay. My name is Blaise Harris. I am the owner of *�ψ Consulting and Counseling Services. I am from Bunn, right down the street from Clayton.
Okay.
Actually practice in Nightdale. You know how one of the things I want to go off right now is like, I'm used to minimizing the accomplishments. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down if that's something that I'm really afraid to do sometimes. So I am licensed clinical mental health counselor, EMDR certified therapist. Yes. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I am an educator, former firefighter, and I am just happy to be in this space with other Black folk doing good things, trying to help us do the world a favor and just continue to heal and just make this world better, one client at a time. So thanks for having me. I'm super stoked about it.
Excited for you both to be here. I met Blaise a couple years ago at a hip hop event because I'm a music head, and I guess Blaise is as well. So I got to meet him then, and I met Claire at an event, and we connected from right away, kind of find out we right down the street, and we actually work out at the gym together at Burn Boot Camp every morning, 6:30. That's right. You got to get up early to do what you got to do to keep it going. So, like I said, this podcast is really about the therapist, really about the business side of therapy. You go to school, you get this master's, you come out, it's like, yes, I'm going to conquer the world and all these things. And for me, I knew I wanted to start my own business out the gate, and I did. As soon as I graduated, I started. But I had to get them 3,000 hours. Y'all didn't know we got to get these 3,000 hours, right? So, sticker shock. I left corporate America. I was a senior project manager for a software company. Wow. So I was making some good money. Talk it. Speak it up. First job out, $36,000 a year. Nice. Ooh, and I got to pay for supervision. Yep. And to get these hours, but I'm making $36,000 a year. That's $3,000 a month, y'all. I have a shoe problem. That was not working for me. So how was it for you guys when you first came out? What was it like when you said, I got my degree, I'm ready? What was that like for you?
Well, I got my degree in the glorious year of 2020. So let's talk about how plans did not, I envisioned when I started, and I just knew I was going to be a college counselor. I loved my undergraduate experience. Go UNCG, go Spartans. And so I said, I'm going to stay on college campuses. I'm going to help young people, and I'm going to do it. Well, I graduate spring 2020, and now I'm going to a community college to work, and it's all online. And you know, think about how burnt out folks were with being online. Students didn't want to come; they weren't trying to fool with me.
Yeah.
So what I did learn in the spring of 2020 was how to quit a job, because because if it's not working for me, let me tell you, I had the blessing of living at home with my parents, and I said, you know what, it's not working. Let's go to the next one. Well, then I switched and I said, you know what? Let's do behavioral health hospital. Let's do 3-hour groups, 15-minute breaks each hour. Y'all, number 2, quit. And now I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, is it me? Is it me? And I'm telling my parents, I promise y'all I went to school. I promise y'all I got this degree. I promise I'm not defective. And they're like, girl, just figure it out. Just figure it out. I get a call from a methadone/buprenorphine clinic. And at this point, there's nowhere to go but up. So I said, you know what, let's try it out. And working with folks who have substance use disorders, I stayed there and I enjoyed it. Just the work. Society has stigmatized these folks, and to just bring some light and some positivity and just be like, don't let them tell you who you are. Let's establish that here, and you wear it proudly. This is part of your history. This isn't who you are. You're multifaceted. And so I stayed there for 3 years, and I started having a little bug of like, let me just see what private practice, because unlike Renee, I thought I was going to work a job till I retired, got my 401k, and then after I retired, my life would begin. Then my life would begin. I'd be going on cruises with my husband and doing all the fun things. But then I got the bug because my husband has his own business, and he's like, come on over. We'd love to see you in entrepreneurship world. And I said, so I tried it. So in the methadone clinic world, you have to be up at 5:30 and it closes at 1:30 because we want to get folks up and going. We want to get you in the habit of not laying in bed all day, but let's be active. So once 1:30 ended, I'd go home, snack because I wasn't eating a healthy, you know, anything because I was just going. Then I'd work Healing with Hayes from like, let's say 2 to 7 p.m. Do that Monday through Friday around the clock, and it wasn't sustainable, but it was enjoyable because I was like, ooh, there's no middleman. It's me. It starts and ends with me. It was very empowering, very empowering. And last year was the first year that I took the leap, and I said, we're doing Healing with Hayes PLLC full time. And you guys, never say never, but I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
That's it. That's what's up.
I'm not going back. So it was a journey, a lot of trial and error. But once I decided that, like, if it doesn't work, if it's not the sweater you need to wear, try on a new one. Because how often do we want to fit the triangle peg into the square? Because you're like, everybody's doing it this way. I have to do it this way too.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But it's so liberating, the flexibility, the time, the clients. Oh my goodness. Why didn't you tell me, Renee, when I graduated? Why didn't you tell me private practice? Why didn't you tell me?
Right.
I don't know. Well, in my defense, I'm probably a good 20 years older than Claire. So for me, I'm in my 50s. So it was not a, like, I got things to do. Like, at this age, I don't want to work for nobody. So I done did that for 30 years of my life. So for me, it was a different. I got my degree late in life. So it's like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to be my own boss. So yeah, that part.
Okay.
So let's talk about Mr. Blaise's journey.
So all right, so I got my master's in 2019. Now, mind you, I'm going through a divorce. So I started grad school in 2016. You know, separated in 2015, doing depression and suicide ideations and all these things all at once. So I go to grad school and learn about all these different types of things, and it's whole theory, this theory. And when you get out, you know, you're gonna work for an agency. We were kind of discouraged to going on our own.
Right.
You know, so work for an agency. So that's what I did. But they ain't tell me that it's hurry up and wait. So you get your degree and you gotta wait because you gotta put in all the stuff for licensure and waiting for your license to come back. And then that's when you can start working. I thought
Insurance.
right, you gotta get your So all the stuff that I didn't know that I needed to get. So, and it's just like that's the stuff that wasn't really covered, you know. And I'm like, yo, So, okay, I got my degree. So I can start doing? No, you got to get licensed. Okay, I got my license. Can I start doing? Do you have insurance? Insurance. Okay. And so, I started working. I had a plan. I said, I'm going to work. I got an 8-year plan. It's going to take me 3 years to get this degree. I'm going to work 2 to 3 years at an agency to get my own experiences, to learn how it works.
Yeah.
And then in the last 2 to 3 years, I'm going to start my own practice. And so I was working for a major group practice for a while, and I got the experience. At the same time, something was like missing. And I was like, yo, this don't feel like me.
Right.
I was like, I feel like I'm so buttoned up.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't want to wear a button up when I come to work. I don't want to wear a collar. I want to wear my, my Nikes and my sweatpants and my jeans and show up, and I want to cuss in my sessions. I feel like I'm so by the book, and I don't do things just this way. And I don't want to do things this way.
Right.
And so I started to be myself, because a lot of my professors in school were trying to steer me away from me being authentic. Because it's like, well, if you do like this, if you go out and you start talking the way that you talk and you cuss, people ain't gonna think that you can do what you got to do. But I knew who I wanted to work with. I'm like, I'm working with first responders.
Right.
I'm working with black men.
Right.
Who ain't gonna appreciate me showing up as me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I started taking that while I was working at this practice, and it's like, yo, I love this, but I was like, but I don't feel like I can be me here. So I left the practice. I started working with another small practice where I could be myself. But then I also opened my own.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm gonna let them deal with all the insurance stuff. I'm gonna just do self-pay over here for me and do my thing. But that way I can still do therapy, I can still do workshops, I can still do consultations the Blaise way.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I started doing, and I'm loving it. I'm getting so many opportunities just because of the way that I do 𝐔2 consulting and counseling.
Yeah.
Because it's Blaise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah. And Blaise brings us a Blaise.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing it?
It's okay.
Pronouncing his name.
You call
Blaise,
it
right.
what you want.
Mr. Harris. So, but he brings up a really good point, and some of what Claire was saying, it's like, you're in school, they teach you how to therapy, how to build rapport with your clients. And it's like a way you have to do it. Like, don't hand them tissue if they're crying, because they might make you. So it's like you come out and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
But I'm Renee, and I like to cut up. I like to dance. I like to sing. I like to cuss sometimes. I like to look at you like, what? Like, you're tripping. But they don't really prepare you for that. So it's kind of like how do you be you and still be taken seriously? But most of my clients are Black. So they see me, they're like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm good. But I want to go back on something, because both of you said you started your practice. You enjoy having that freedom. How was that journey starting your practice? What was that like for you to start the practice?
So starting the practice is one, getting your mind right that you're going to do it. I think that you're thinking about, well, what if this doesn't go well? What if this, like, sometimes we just have to just jump, just take the leap. Luckily, at my methadone clinic that I was working at, I had to do all the MPI, the CAQH stuff already. So I had some prior knowledge about, okay, let's just wash, rinse, repeat, and do that for me.
Wait, educate the people on what this NPI and C.
Yes, so, oh my,
Exactly.
that they didn't tell us
They didn't
about.
tell us about that either. Like, what is it?
So, what a national provider information identifier. And so this is just a number that all providers get so that you're able to, provide services. This is a number that's going to be attached to all things you, whatever.
And you actually have to fill out a whole long application to get one, including understanding what a taxonomy code is, right?
So what kind of therapy are you doing? Are you doing substitute? Are you doing clinical mental health? Are you doing behavioral?
That's what you're trying to do,
Yeah, and so 𝐞𝐻QI is another kind of platform where it's all of your history, all of your professional history. Where did you work? Why was there a gap? What type of insurance do you have when it comes to liability? So a lot of minutia.
Yes.
But you have to do it. You have to go through these things. And so just staying encouraged that, like, this is a means to an end. It's not going to be like this forever. It's a means to an end. And so after getting that set up is also knowing, like, marketing, because the beauty is it's all on you. But then on the other hand, it's all
on you.
Yes. So nobody is bringing clients to you. You're going to have to go market. You're going to have to make sure, you're going out. Sometimes you have to go out to the community and just foot to the pavement. Like, hi, my name is Claire. I have a counseling, agency. You want to, my private practice, do you want to explain and give and talk about, do you do self-pay? Do you do insurance? Do you take insurance? So it's a lot, but one thing in front of the other, because how do you eat an elephant? Sorry to the elephants. No elephants were harmed in the production of this podcast. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Absolutely.
One bite at a time.
Absolutely.
So that was your journey. Interesting. How about yours?
Similar. And like, that's the thing, getting your MPI, getting your liability insurance, and then just like registering everything with the state. Like, man, I gotta get an EIN number, that tax number now too. And this is like, daggone, how many hoops do I gotta jump through, and why didn't y'all tell us?
Right.
Why didn't you tell us that's what it was? That's what it had to be. So, it was overwhelming, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? It was extremely overwhelming, because how am I going to do this? And it's just me, and it's just me doing this. And I want to. The pride and ego is like, I got this, I can do this. But then the little one is like, do you? And fortunately, I had a pretty decent support system as far as my background as a first responder. That put me in a lot of arenas and a lot of networking events that I wouldn't have normally had. The fact that people knew that I ran into burning buildings and, went to car wrecks and all this type of stuff, the marketing was already kind of out there for that, because if you see me in turnout gear, that's like, oh, he got it. He gets it. He understands.
I got it.
So that's another thing. But then the fact that, I am a unicorn. There's not a whole lot of black males in this field.
No.
Not a lot of black males in this field. And if I promote myself, I think my social media is pretty decent. And I think that's how a lot of people have found me. But it's a lot of word of mouth too. Yeah. And that's one of those things. Is like, when I get asked to do things like this, I'm like, well, we can go talk. And it's still surreal that we have these opportunities and we provide these opportunities for each other. And it's I think the part that I really enjoy is the community aspect of us. Yeah. Because we're going to look out for each other. We're going to speak each other's names in different rooms. We're going to, if I have something, I'm going to, hey, yo, I got this going on over here. Would you want to be a part of it? Do you want to speak? Do you want to do this? Or it might be sending you referrals. It might be doing whatever. And it's one of those things where I think we can all benefit from that. And I think I have been a beneficiary of that just because of my background and my history and the things that I do.
Right. So absolutely. Yeah. Let's recap some of the points that you guys brought up. We go to school, we learn how to do therapy, but you guys talk about you got to learn how to market.
Yes.
You got to learn how to get yourself added to a system. You got to get liability insurance. You got to figure out how to run the business, how to register your business. How do you keep clients coming in? How do you pay yourself?
Yes.
Like, where's our business class in grad school, right? Where's the business stuff that we need to learn? And that's why I started this podcast, because it's like, there's many of us, I have a group practice and I do the billing for my group practice, and there's 33 therapists at the group practice. So it's just,
can we give a shout out?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
But they know that out there already. They don't see me about 4 times before. But no, the reality is I come from a software background, yes, but it's like I had to learn how to CPT codes, what? Modifiers for telehealth, what? I gotta learn all that. And let's not talk about contracted rates and write-offs and this, that, all of that. Yeah. And it's like, how do we learn this stuff and how do we support each other? So that brings up another point. Who is your support? Like, I have a call I go to every other week with other group practice owners, and we share information. We help each other out. It's an open sharing of information, and that's been helpful. And that's been going on for 4 years since I've been running it. So that's been a beautiful thing. So I've had that, but I also have a great clinical, well, she's now my VP of clinical operations that helps run this business with me. So I have that support there. And of course, my family and husband and all that. But it's like, that's what I have. Because on them days, some days I want to quit. Some days I'm like, wait, you mean tell me you gonna claw back all this money because something messed up? Like, what?
Yeah.
Clawback is insurance, y'all. They robbing us, FYI. So, but who do you have as your support during this?
The beauty is going to grad school. I made a really good friend, Shanika, and she is like a sounding board. In addition to my old supervisor, Shantae Wright, she has it where even after you get fully licensed, you can come back to the group chat. You can hop on supervision if you have a question. There's a Black therapist of Raleigh, the RDU or Triangle area group, which is nice that we're always dropping like, hey, we're in need of this kind of counselor. Are you available? Were you seeking availability? And then just also, asking for help, because that's the thing. It's, it's great to have the village, but if you never tap into the village, is the village going to be able to support you in the way that you want to be supported?
I don't, but it's I'm gonna challenge that too. It's not just asking for help, but also accepting it when it's offered.
Yes.
Because I think that's something that we really have a tough time doing. It's like people's like, nah, I got it. And we go, I know personally, it's pride and ego, and that's one of those things. Like, I got it, but then I don't.
Right.
So I do. So I am interdependent. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem asking for, accepting for, accepting help or doing anything when it comes to these things. So like my support system, like every month I meet with other Black male therapists. It's like it's like right, last time it was 1, 2, 3, 5 of us.
Oh, that's good.
Like, and it was doing virtual conversations we hold each other accountable. We talk about, one who has his own group practice who helps us walk through, this is what you can do, this is how you do billing, this is how you do this type of stuff. We have an intern who just graduated, but he's retired in his real life, but he's an intern and the transition into there.
I got it.
And then, we have someone who is an associate and who's trying to learn and build and all these types of things. You got me, and then, we got a couple of other brothers who are in the same field. It's like, yo, let's hold each other accountable. Let's look out for each other. Let's feed each other these opportunities if they pop up.
Absolutely.
But I got friends and stuff that my homegirl, Ty Caldwell, I've known her since elementary school. She'll give me the love and support that I need, but she will also call me out on my shit. So when I have something,
Need that.
yes, I call her first and foremost. So so it's good.
One honest person.
Yeah.
When you guys think about, what's next for you we're 2025, we're just starting, right? It is Black History Month. I know for me, it's always, there's still moments that I'm scared. Like, there's still moments that I fear that this is all going to come crumbling down and I'm going to be somewhere in the corner crying and just not good. Like, it's a flash that comes through every now and then. But, I pray a lot, and I just believe that this is definitely where I'm supposed to be in this time in my life. But the reality is things do change. The market does change. We don't know what's going to happen over this year. We're an insurance-based company, so it's like, what do you guys do to prepare for the year? Like, what are the things that you guys look to kind of focus on for yourself and for your business so that you sustain this that you've created?
I think it starts with me, because there was once a point in time when I wasn't taking care of myself, that I was giving to others, organizations, and it left me in a really bad spot because I'm, not eating as well as I need to. I'm always thinking about what do I have to do next? What do I have to do next? So for me, it's always like making sure that I'm in a space where it doesn't always have to be a good day. Like I'm not in the business of having a good day, but am I at peace with whatever the day looks like or shows up or presents itself for me? So it starts with me and making sure that I'm good because, counseling, the therapist, you're the vehicle, but not only are you a vehicle of change, the client has to want it, but think about what's going on in your head when you're listening to a client. You're thinking about the things the client's saying. You're thinking about what the client isn't saying. You're thinking about things they've said. You know what I mean? Like there's so much going on. And so I'm like, you got to take care of you because if you're not doing well, it's not going to be fruitful.
Right.
And then when I think about my business as a whole, is like, are there opportunities that I've shied away from that I know I can do, but that little imposter says, girl, you sure, you sure. So just making sure that I'm saying yes to things that usually I'd be hesitant just for lack of comfortability's sake. And, making sure you're pushing yourself outside the box to venture out, connect. There's some things like, I've never been on a podcast before, but why not? Like go, talk, express, meet new people.
Yeah.
And so doing the networking in undergrad and in grad school, mingling used to be a word that I did not like. Like, what is it? What do you do to mingle? Does this person want to talk? Like, are they feeling it? Because I'm always, I got energy, I can talk, but you can always tell when somebody doesn't. And so reframing the word mingling and just connecting. Let's just connect. Let's just see if there's a connection for us to mutually benefit. I support you, you support me. Not so much the logistics of because the business will do what it will do, but if I'm okay, I'm connecting, that makes me feel like, okay, check. Like I've done my part. I've done my part.
That's a good point because we only met once. Yep. And then saw each other at the gym. I was like, oh, I can get Claire to come on my podcast.
That's
Exactly right.
Yes.
So like a year later, I'm like, oh, snap, what are the odds that happened? So we just happened to connect at an event and we chatted. We were right next to each other, so we got to chat. And I was just like, okay, cool. So yeah, that you bring up a really good point. That's important in this field to definitely stay connected with people. How about you? What do you think about when you started this year? What was on the top of your list or things that you started thinking about on what you wanted to do and what you wanted, to sustain your company?
The biggest thing, my word for the year is community. That's my word because it's something that I've been searching for so long. It's how sometimes you feel like you fit in, but you don't.
Right.
And it's always been that type of thing for me. It's just like, oh, Blaise, you're different. Blaise, you're different. Blaise, you're different, and you fight that. But then it's like it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like much like Claire said, first being sure that you're okay. So a lot of investing in myself and what I can do and the things that might benefit me, which might mean going to a conference and connecting with people. It might mean taking a retreat and learning how entrepreneurs do these things, or it might mean taking a course that's really out of your comfort zone, and that's one of those things. And once you do those things, your cup starts to fill, and instead of you pouring into everybody else, they're catching the overflow.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest part is like we're so used to pouring from our cup, and it's just like, bro, you ain't supposed to pour from it. It's supposed to be filled with abundance, and then get everything else after that. And I think that's the biggest part. It's like we're so used to not filling ourselves up and being abundant in the things that's going to make us better in this job. And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to do for my business is just to learn more and how to continue to maintain and sustain what's going on here and how to grow further. And like Claire said, taking these opportunities, saying yes to things, saying yes to podcasts, saying yes to doing a workshop, saying yes to speaking engagements,
Right.
all of these things, but also challenging yourself to do the things that you really want to do, despite and like kicking that imposter in the face, kicking that anxiety, that anxiety monster in the face, and whatever. It's like, hey, I acknowledge you.
I see you.
Shut up.
Hush.
Yeah. So and like that, and that's the thing. I think that's the biggest part.
But that's a good, very good point. Because Mr. Harris here will be speaking at the conference at the end of this month. he's gonna be on a panel, and I saw his video. I said, "Oh snap! I know him. He's gonna be on my podcast." Hey, look at how I did that. But it's true. It's that we have to stay connected, and I tell people all the time on the last podcast I did. I tell them it's not a competition, right? There's enough clients out here for everybody. It's not a competition, and as long as we keep that mindset, we can support each other and really just be in a position because. I have open house I opened an office in South Carolina.
Nice.
I don't know nothing about South Carolina, y'all. But I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh, wow, Renee." I say, "Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. But you know what? I'm just going to try it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it's okay. Yeah. It's all right because I at least tried it, right? So it is what it is. And how you know, right? How you know it's not going to work out or whatever. And that's kind of like me for 2025. Like I asked you guys, my thing for 2025 is actually getting the support that I need so that the company can run and be scalable and do what it does. And that has been something that I'm implementing and working on actively now. And it's like, why didn't I do this before, right? Yeah. It's always fear of, do I have enough to pay everybody fairly? Yes. That's important for me is I want to pay therapists fairly and good enough because that's their license. Like, you know what I mean? I got to pay them bills. I got to pay for their office space and our admin and intake and billing and all those things. But I still want them to make a living, and make an earning. So those are the things that are important. And, you guys know that, with your businesses and taking insurance and things not flowing in when they want to, or like Change Healthcare, right? I don't know if y'all got affected by that last year, but Change Healthcare last year was... We a year later, and sometimes I feel like I still ain't got all my money back from that last year. But what is something that you would tell new grads about coming out in this field when it comes to the business of therapy? What advice would you tell them on how to navigate this?
Yes. I had an intern this past, it was kind of like a wintry semester, which was really exciting because how full circle. You know who your site supervisor was, you know what you got, and you know what you wish you would have gotten, right? Yeah. And so to be able to give to her, Marisha, it was just really exciting.
That's amazing.
So this is, I think about her when I think about new clinicians coming into the field. And, I think just like what I alluded to, like being able to know when to quit, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? And so it's exciting that, you can teach people that just try, like, how often do we think about things and you ruminate on it and say, I wish I was doing this. I want to do this. I see this for myself. But then sometimes we get in the way. Try and see, try and ask. Because I'm a firm believer the things that we want us too.
Yes.
Want us too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So get out of the way and let things fall into place like they will. And so I just encourage folks that it can be clunky. It doesn't seem seamless at times, but nothing is permanent. Ask for help. There's no such thing as a dumb question. And then do your research. Do your research about, what works for you. Like what, kind of clinician do you want? What's funny is when I graduated, I thought I wanted to be Yonla, honey. I wanted to fix people's life. And that is totally not me. And you could just tell, like seeing, images about what we think helping could look like. And it works for Yonla, right? Like that was her lane and she spoke the language that some of her, those families needed to hear. But what works for me is being Claire.
Right. Yes.
Like, I don't have to work at it. It's effortless. And so also letting new, clinicians know that you learned how to do counseling in school. You don't have to worry about that. But what I do need you to know, wherever you decide to go, is to advocate for yourself. Because sometimes counseling feels like a fuzzy, like, oh, well, let's not ruffle feathers. Let's not do this. But if you're working for someone, good work tends to be rewarded with more work. Yeah. So you've got to advocate and say when things, are enough, and let your no be no, and forget the rest, because at the end of the day, you are your own best thing. You're your own best gift, and the body is not a machine. And a lot of us have high tolerance for functioning in chaos, under stress. And so we don't even recognize that we're working at levels that we may not necessarily need to be working at.
Absolutely.
So true.
You know, and consistency is showing up. Consistency doesn't have to be 100% every day. If I have 40 in the tank, that's all I can give you is 40. But giving yourself the permission. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
It did, because there's, you know, there's business, but then there's also taking care of you as the individual. Be assertive. Be assertive as a counselor. You can be assertive.
Own it.
Own it.
How am I supposed to follow that?
Be Mr.
No, but really and truly though, I think that's a big portion of it. Just like show up and be unapologetically, authentically yourself. I think that's one of the things that we deprive ourselves of when it comes to this field. We feel like we have to be a certain way. It's like it's on TV. It's like, who's to make you be? And you feel like you have to do that. Yeah, it's like no. It's just like, bro, what's up? What's going on? Like, what's up with you? This is like, one of the things that like our clients appreciate that. I had my first year of therapy was completely online. Brother never saw my face prior to the thing. He just saw a name. He popped up. He saw pop up on the screen. He was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." There's a brother. There's another brother.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like people don't recognize how much representation matters. So not just as a black male, not just as a black woman, but if you are LGBTQ, any way that you need to show up in the space, show up as yourself, because that's going to, who you're trying to help, and if you for them, you for them. If you ain't, that ain't coming.
Right.
That's right.
And don't be discouraged by saying if you are an inclusive therapist and you post, if you post the pride flag on your page, or you post, whatever your beliefs are on your page, and you're worried about people not coming to you because of that, they probably ain't the people that you want to see anyway. So it's okay for you to be yourself and promote yourself as such, and then another thing is if you have questions about anything, all of us have talked about it. Yeah. Ask. Yeah. Like all of us are in this position because we worked here, but all of us asked for help at some point in our career to help us to get to where we do. We didn't just come out of grad school knowing how to do this stuff.
No way. I wish.
We didn't know how to run a business and do all of this and talking about therapy notes and simple practices. Do I do headway? Do I do Alma? Do I do all this stuff on my own? It's just like we had to ask somebody. And that's the thing. So it's just like the greatest advice that I could give to grads is be you. Like show up as you. Show up as who you are, and it's the people who need you will find you, and they are going to come to you, and they do not care about all the other stuff. They want you.
So true. I appreciate that. Yeah, good points. Right. So if you're a recent grad or you're about to graduate or whatever, both of them said it. Be who you are. I don't know that every program. I went to Liberty University, more Christian-based college, to get my degree. When I had to do my Psychology Today profile, this is February 2020, so right before it hit, it took me a month to post it. Why? Because I had a Bible verse, and I was like, okay, am I gonna, lose people because of this? But I'm like, the reason why I'm here because the Lord was like, Renee, go be a therapist, and I'm just like, really? You want me to be a therapist? But I'm chilling right now. I'm making money. I'm good. But I listened, and this is how I got this. So I put that there. And I'm telling you, within that first, I was full in a month. Wow. And so it's like, you know what? But I also put, I have a blended family. I have 5 kids. I have a whole bunch of grandkids. You know what I mean? So it's like they can relate to that thing. I only work out to eat cake and cookie and pie. Like, I don't work out because I want to work out. I work out because I need to eat them Girl Scout cookies I got at the crib. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to keep it, yourself with people so that they can relate and they can see that, we're not. Therapy is not boring. No. And you should not be a boring therapist. I know what they teach you in school sometimes, but I promise you, be yourself, right? Be yourself. Be yourself. Come out, be yourself. So we're wrapping up. I just want to say this was amazing, right? I got to see these two in their element, which I really, really love. And that's why I started this podcast. And hopefully they will come back and join me again. But I want them to make sure that they tell you about themselves one last time, tell them about the name of your company, and any last things you want to say before we end.
So again, this is Claire Hayes with Healing with Hayes PLLC. And, you know, come one, come all, but I think if people can leave this podcast knowing that therapy is a tool to help you live the life that you want to live. Like, you know, life is hard, and I don't think we're meant to do it alone. Sometimes it takes two to understand the one. And tag me in. I'd be glad to help you. You know, I have this like enthusiasm for life, like, because life is hard, I appreciate when life is going well. Right. It makes you appreciative. It makes you so appreciative. And so we have coping skills, but you can always tell when your coping skills are not as effective as they used to be because now they're causing you issues rather than helping you cope. Right. So tag a friend. I'll help you figure these things out. Let me know. Claire at Healing with Hayes. And yeah, it's just an honor. I'm really glad. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Some last words.
Oh, man.
Give words of advice to new grads that's coming into the field.
What would I say? Run. No. Totally joking. Totally joking. So the biggest thing is again, like I said last time, show up, be unapologetically you, be authentic. That's how you're going to make change. Yeah. You know, be authentic in that space, you know, and I think it's something that I wish I would have grabbed onto sooner. You know, I think it would have been much more beneficial in my confidence as a therapist and what I can do and where I can go. You know, just showing up as myself instead of showing up as something that people expect of me to be. You know, and that's no fun. Because then you put so much pressure on yourself to show up in some other way. It's just like, that's not me. And you're fighting this inner turmoil. It's like, do I be me or do this person that they expect? And it's like, bro, just be you. Just be you. And it's because that's going to make all the difference in the world. And as far as if you ever doubt that you are meant to do this type of thing, and or if you ever question if you are in the right space or not, it's just like, you got to remember that you are loved and you are valued and you are dope as hell.
That's right. Because he is the dope Black therapist. Yes. You forgot that part.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So that's why actually my website is www.thedopeblackTherapist.com. And if you want to, you know, you want me as your therapist, you look for a speaker, you look for, you know, a workshop or something, that's where you can go, or you can follow me on Instagram at _DopeBlackTherapist.
_ I love it. Claire, Blaise, thank you both for joining me. Well, guys, y'all remember I can't say the word, but y'all see it, right? They don't teach you in grad school. Episode 5 is a wrap. I thank my 2 guests for joining me. Please take a listen. Please look these 2 wonderful people up. You'll see them again everywhere. So thank you for joining us, and we out.